Hi, everybody. Happy Marketing Monday. Thank you for joining us. I am Debra Dixon-Anderson, and I'm the owner and founder of Light of Gold PR and Marketing. This is Marketing Monday. We do this every Monday, but next month we're going to go every other Monday, just to give you a heads up of the new schedule. But we're so excited that you're here. Light of Gold PR does PR marketing, branding, digital, and we love giving this advice about the importance of marketing. And today, my wonderful guest, Casey Carpenter, and good friend, good friend. I walk with her every Friday, so she's my feisty friend, very special. And she is a phenomenal consultant and speaker, owner of Speak and Own It Communications. So, Casey, I'm going to segue to you so you can introduce yourself.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me. So I'm here today because I indeed founded Speak and Own It Communications. I rebranded during the pandemic, which was the best move I could have done due to being crystal clear now about my messaging and who I serve. The business is doing quite well. I wasn't always so successful. I mean, maybe we get to this later, but I'll just quick highlights. I was born with 4 strikes against me, raving introvert. Oh my goodness. Really shy, highly sensitive, scared to speak up, the whole nine. You know, you think about obstacles, I had to overcome them just learning to come out of my shell. So in a nutshell, that's who I am. And I am really jazzed to be here.
Yes, we're excited to have you. And it's so funny because Casey, when you tell me that you're an introvert, it's so hard for me to wrap my mind around that because I know you and
Yes.
we see each other socially as well, and it's and traveled some of the same business circles, and I'm like, Casey, an introvert?
Yes.
What?
Yes. Check,
Yeah.
check.
Check,
Yes.
check. Absolutely. So, just before we get started, I wanted to just remind everybody, please register for our Women's Business Conference coming up Friday, March 31st in New York at Mercy College at West 34th Street. We're going to be posting about it. You'll see the posts about it. You could always go to lightofgoldpr.com to our upcoming events page. We are super excited about it because we're going to have Clarissa from the governor's office talking about workman's comp. We're going to be talking financial services and how you can get your finances together. We're going to be talking about playing in different sandboxes now because everybody has to have multiple streams of income. So it's going to be a good time, a good event. So yeah, go ahead and schedule to be there March 31st with us Friday morning from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30. So shameless plug there. Now we're going to dive into the topic. So our topic today is leadership and the importance of leadership when you are running a business, when you own a business. How important is leadership and making sure that you're on point with leading yourself, your team, and everybody that you're connected to. So I'm just gonna throw this back at you, Casey. So let's
Yeah.
just talk a little bit about leadership and what it means to someone's company.
Yes. Especially when you're a small business owner, or if you, like me, you're a solopreneur, think about who you are as a leader and think about the fact that you are the face, you are the heartbeat of your entity. So every interaction really depends on you, your values, your energy. Think about how thorough you are, how you follow up with people. Because when we think about leadership, it's also a legacy. It's a living
Yes,
legacy, right?
absolutely.
I see you nodding, Deborah. I love
Yes.
that. So it's when I
Mm,
think about leadership, here's a Hansel and Gretel analogy. It's breadcrumbs. It's the crumbs we leave that really reflect back who we are. And you know what? And of course, it's part of the branding as well, because
yes.
when we know who you are and what you stand for as a leader, that pulls through every aspect of your business and every aspect of the work, your client engagements, the people on your team, right? The
Yes.
leader, you are meeting with them and setting the expectations so that they know what the company's values are, the brand is. In essence, you're giving them a template, if you will,
Yes.
so that in other words, if you have a really good developed team, you should be
Hmm.
able to send them out to represent you. And
Absolutely.
all of the messaging is consistent.
Right.
That's what gives people confidence in hiring you.
Yes. That's very true, Casey. Oh my God, that you are so on point with all of that, because it's just like, if you are not a good leader in your own organization, heck, if you can't even lead yourself, I mean, that's what you have to do when you're a solopreneur, when you own a small business, even a bigger, maybe not so small, but you have to be a leader in your own organization, and it's so critical. And I love what you said, because it branding is so integral with that as well. It's so important, and I always talk about that with your brand, showing who you are, how you show up,
Yes.
as a person in your business.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Mhm.
it should be clear, right? We
Yeah.
shouldn't have to hunt for who you
Right.
are, who you serve,
Right.
and your messaging, and again, yes, you're right, all that is part of leadership.
Yeah.
You do that very well. I've always been impressed with the way you run
Yeah.
your business.
Thank you. Thank
Mhm.
you. And it's so interesting, Casey, because when we talk about leadership, okay, we had a little slight segue that I made to branding, but guess what? That's also your culture, your company
Yes,
culture, right? So
yes.
let's talk a little bit about that.
Ooh, this is juicy. You
Yes.
know
Yeah.
why? Well, obviously, over the past 2.5 years, we've been through something pretty cataclysmic in the
Yes.
world, which has
Absolutely.
changed the face of the workplace forever. I
Yes.
read a statistic, and this is probably for bigger companies, but it said that between 30 and 35% of the workforce is engaged. Only 33%. Well, that to me says that, we've got to take a look at culture, because I need to know what is motivating people to show up every day and do their best work.
Yes.
Do they even know what the culture is? And so some of this has shifted, it's gotten diluted since the pandemic happened. We got used to working completely dispersed.
Mhm.
Now, many of us who are working in an office perhaps are in on certain days of the week. If
Mhm.
you have a small business, or you're a sole practitioner, you're
Yeah.
also figuring this out because you have clients who might be dealing with that return to office phenomenon.
Right.
So
Right.
it's changed us forever.
It
I
has.
I would say culture, learning what someone's culture is, especially if you're an outside consultant or vendor, you might want to find out if things have shifted as a result of recent events. If
Right.
so, what does that mean? How does that affect your arrangement with them? And how do you show up and show that you're also a team player, that
Right.
you also embody their culture?
Yes. 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 I think you know what? I used to say this about branding. I could say the same thing about culture. Especially when it comes to leadership. It's an inside job. A
Yeah.
lot of times we think about going outside and coming in. It's inside going out,
Mm,
and cultivating that, and it changes what the outside looks like. It's very
interesting.
interesting, because from branding, I think, working with a lot of our clients, or when I'm doing a talk about branding, I think so many people get caught up with the right colors and the right pictures and graphics and images and all of that good stuff.
Mm,
And don't get me wrong, that's important stuff, but what is your culture? What is your approach to leadership inside your own organization? How do
mm.
you work with clients as a leader?
Yeah.
And what does that look like? Does that look like making sure you're following up on calls when you say you're going to, or messages that come? It really impacts almost every bit of communications, throughout your organization. Would you not say so?
I
To
com I
Casey?
completely agree. I completely agree.
Yes.
And maybe it's time, if the workers or your employees are not quite sure hey, you know what? What's our culture anyway?
Right,
Things really,
right.
it's time to reset.
Yeah, yeah,
No
yeah,
matter what size your organization, you can always do a pulse survey,
yeah.
find out. I mean, and I think that's really important now, especially after all of the shakeup, right?
Yes,
How are people
yes.
feeling? How are they collaborating? What's easy? What's hard? What
Hmm.
can you do as a leader to help facilitate and bring all that in so that people feel joyful about coming to work again?
Right. Exactly. That's really important. I think that it's important to listen to your people, whether they're contractors, employees, part-timers, interns, and just having that powwow to have those discussions in
Mm.
real time. Because a lot of times when they are working inside your company and representing you, and they don't know how to do that, sometimes they're disconnected
Yeah.
from your culture. They're disconnected from you as a leader as well. It can
Mm.
be a disconnect, and sometimes the communications can foster, reconnection.
Oh, that's really good, Deb. Yeah. So, leaders, when did you last do a fireside chat or a
Yeah,
town hall?
yes,
Bring people together. And, we have virtual tools at our disposal.
yes,
We used to do this live. Maybe not everyone can be there. Okay.
right,
How can you make it so everyone can participate? How
yes,
can you get all input? And, it's funny, Deb, I was reflecting on my career and first entering the workforce when I was so green. Oh my goodness. And I remember feeling like the low person on the
mhm,
rank, on the rung.
yes,
No
yes,
one should be feeling that way
right,
because even a brand new person with no work experience has ideas and thoughts.
right,
And as
right.
leaders, it's incumbent on us
Hmm.
to look around the organization and suss that out.
Yeah,
Young person, heck, what about some
mhm,
reverse mentoring? What can
right,
you learn from them?
right. Absolutely,
Yeah. And I
absolutely.
know you're really good at that too.
Oh, yeah, I love learning from young people.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love that, and
yeah.
I think, to be honest with you, I'm just gonna put it out there, I think if you're a boomer and you don't feel like there's nothing you can learn from
Mm,
a 20-something or a 30-something, you are making a big mistake.
agree.
And I've seen that play out over and over throughout my career, my businesses. I've seen it constantly,
Yeah.
where it's a mistake. And all you have to do is look at all of these trends that has run our entire world and country, like social media. I
Mm,
remember when these trends started, and I remember hearing the same thing, meaning, but they're only kids. What do they know? They don't know anything about, starting a company. This whole social media thing, this is going to go away. This is, what? Yeah. And I heard that. I heard that with the internet back
yes.
in mid 90s. It's a fad. Are you really working in that fad, Deb? And look what happened. I've seen it happen 2 or 3 times, and it will happen again, and
Yep.
a lot of times, it's almost like young people having to stay just diligent because they hear a lot of the naysayers, really and truly, and I try to encourage them as a leader that, "Hey,
Yes.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I get it. If you are really believe in this and really understand this and really wanna share this, you should stay with it and find your tribe. Find your people that will want to, you know, help you with
Yeah.
this and understand you. That's a good segue too, Casey.
Mm,
For those of us who are solopreneurs and operate small businesses, and we're leaders and we want to be great leaders, so many of us have to find tribes, whether it's of women, it could be other minorities, it could be other
mm,
small businesses.
mm.
What do you do as a leader to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with other like-minded leaders, right?
I'm I'm laughing because when do I not? When I'm sleeping. Okay, that's a good question for me.
That's the only time.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I am not bragging, I want to be really super clear on this. I set an intention at the beginning of the year. First of all, one of the words that I chose to live by is intention. The other one was connection, and to connect more intentionally with people. So I do think you have to look at your industry and the business that you're in.
Right.
It could be that you're more intentional about client engagement. Like, so where do your clients hang out? What's your business? What's your vertical? Could you start perhaps, I don't know, going to industry associations and meeting those people, not to sell anything,
Right.
but just to go connect, just see what you learn. So I
Yes.
would say I'm fortunate in that I belong to a chamber of commerce that spans from solopreneurs like me to large multinational global entities that you might find on the Fortune 100 list. So
Right.
there is a vast range of people, organizations to connect with there.
Right.
And I also am really big on going to different committees. So you mentioned maybe women might be a vertical. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
there it
women
is.
in business. What about health and wellness, which is something that you're big on?
Absolutely.
What I do intersects with health and wellness because I talk about confidence, and confidence also mindset. If
Right.
you're not taking care of your body, you're not
Yes.
going to be able to do any pitching or presenting.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
there's a wide array of committees that people can find. I would recommend active chambers. I know there are
Yeah.
plenty of them in
Oh, yeah.
New York, right? New York, Brooklyn,
Absolutely. Yes.
fabulous organizations.
Yeah. Greater New
Start,
York Chamber. Big member.
yes,
I'm a big member
start
there.
connecting.
Yes.
And
Yes.
literally, people say to me, Casey Carpenter, I see you everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because I am intentional and I am strategic. I
Yeah.
post on LinkedIn what I'm doing
Right.
because
Right.
it might help
It might
somebody.
help someone. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. Yes.
So
Yes.
that's
Yes.
job number 2. Besides
Yes.
the leadership part, job 2 is of course the marketing and getting out there,
Or
making sure that people know what you do so that when they're ready to buy, in quotations, they think of you.
yes. Absolutely. And I found that because I do so much networking prolifically. I mean, and shout
Yes.
out also to the North Jersey Chamber and to Adrian's network. These are
Yeah.
all some great
Yeah.
groups. The Greater New York Chamber, the Brooklyn Chamber. I've been
Yeah.
members of all these different groups, and new group is NABO as well. You know,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
love networking with the lady business owners
Mm.
as well.
Mhm.
But being intentional about attending events and how are you going to connect with people, that's also part of being a good leader, is
Yes.
showing up and being prepared in
Yeah.
advance. Would you say that too, Casey? It's like, you know, we talk about these goals, right? It's
Mhm.
February, we're a month and a half in with the new year. And I thought about,
Yeah.
manifesting and mindset and being intentional. We're a month and a half in, but being prepared is really important. You can't just say that, okay, this Friday we're going to have a booth at the Hard Rock Cafe for the Greater New York Chamber. This is real. This is really happening.
Okay.
The discussion of this happens a couple weeks in advance or a week and a half in advance because of the preparation for that. So being a leader
Mhm.
is being prepared and staying ready so you don't have to get ready. Would you say?
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Take it from someone who built her business from the first business card. I had a corporate career, yes, but
Mhm.
I did not do the exact same thing and move over a book of business, say, okay, I'm not with X Corp anymore. I'm now Casey Carpenter. No, I had to build. So
Right.
talk about falling down and skinning my knees and putting on band-aids 100 times because you cannot wing it.
Yes.
It
You
doesn't
really
work.
can't. You really can't.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Not a single aspect, meaning everything from what are you going to say when you shake someone's hand and look them in the eye? You got to
Yes.
be prepared with what you're going to
Yeah.
say.
You gotta have your pitch, right,
You got to
Casey?
have your pitch and various forms of that for the different arenas.
Yes.
Start with the end in mind. What is the event or the thing that you're doing? And then work backwards from there. How
Right.
much time do you need to prepare? Do you need to write remarks? Do you need to
Yeah.
design slides?
Yes.
What about the technology when you get there?
Oh gosh.
Is this a
Yes.
breakfast or lunch meeting? If it's not, how are you going to refuel your body? How are
Yeah.
you going to have enough to eat to maintain? Because when you're on all day long like that,
Oh
it
yeah.
can be
Oh, it's
tiring,
exhausting.
especially for my other little innies in the house. Hi,
Yes,
introverts. Yeah, you gotta manage your energy.
you do. You do.
Yep.
And I'm so glad you're bringing that up too, Casey, because man, we'll go to a 4 hour event or an all day event. It's like if we don't have a plan for how we're going to take our lunch breaks
No.
or for snacks, even or water or whatever, that can be really exhausting. You can run out of steam so quickly.
Yes.
And so that is just like so on point, so on target,
Mm.
making sure you're just like prepared.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yes. Yeah.
And doesn't it tie into your values, Deb, when you do that? What do we
Yes.
value in terms of a corporation? How do we value taking care of ourselves and each
Yes.
other?
Yes. Yes.
It's in the very fiber of what you do.
Absolutely. It's in the fiber. I find that even with my team,
Yeah.
we do a lot of creative work. And for those team members that gravitate toward Light of Gold PR, they get so much into the zone of
Ah,
creativity that they
mhm.
forget. Sometimes I'm a stickler for taking breaks,
Good.
even when it's fun, creative,
Yes.
graphic design, whatever, all the creation, all the warm fuzzies, it's fun, but you still need a mental break. You
Yes, you
still
do.
need a physical break.
Yes, you
So
do.
it's like I'm a stickler for lunch break. Lunchtime is at 12:30. I want everybody to take their lunch break from 12:30 to 1:45 to 1:30 or 1:15. Let's come back, refresh, go eat. And then sometimes the new ideas are better because
Yes.
everybody refreshed and
Yes.
everything. But there are organizations that don't always cultivate that break time. And I'm always like
Right.
disappointed when I hear stories from, people that young people in particular, middle-aged people who say, yeah, I worked in an environment, you just had to keep working. They only did enough to stay legal by the labor department. It's just like, but they wouldn't cultivate, like, why don't you look, get up, walk around, take a break, take a breather, because we
Yeah.
all need that. We're human
Yeah.
beings.
Yeah. We're not machines.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not machines. It's really, heartbreaking when you hear the stories of other organizations and how it makes people feel
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
their humanity is just discounted, you know?
Yes,
Yeah,
you're right. I've heard stories like that, and you have to do what's best for yourself. I'll just leave it
right.
there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna kind of finish up with Casey, just like cultivating a better work environment. We always try to make sure we do that. We talked about communications and the importance of that. Um, would you say that just for the vision and the direction of the company, how does leadership uh, kind of affect that
Oh,
organization?
yes. Well, I'm hoping that the leaders are driving the direction and the vision and the mission. And then what has to happen, it has to trickle down to every single individual in the organization so they understand what every single responsibility they have, how it ties back to the bigger picture,
Right.
because otherwise they don't get why they're there. They
Yes.
think they're just doing a thing. Let me
Yeah.
just go ahead and make these widgets, make these
Right.
yo-yos. Let
Right.
me just go ahead and push out some production, or worse, what's the nobody cares if I make yo-yos or widgets or not. I'm
Right.
gonna just coast.
Yeah.
And when we understand why we're important and how everything ties into the bigger picture and the big message, it's inspiring.
Yeah,
You know,
it
you
is.
get up, you're excited about working that day because you get to be part of something bigger and something awesome. The
Yes.
leader has got to be communicating that.
Yeah,
If it's an
absolutely.
organization with managers, then
Hmm.
the managers also are responsible for trickling that down.
Right.
And it's not, it's also if I am an individual contributor or I'm a, whatever, an individual person, I'm also responsible for knowing what those things are and acting in
Right.
accordance.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what I should know exactly what the values are so I can contribute to those values.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said.
Why
Well
am I
said.
there then if I'm not
Right.
doing that?
Right.
Why am I
Right.
there?
Exactly. Exactly. And you know what, Casey, just to kind of help us get closer to closing, one thing that I really like to incorporate as a leader, and I want your take on this too, is just two little small words that mean the world to people, and it's just thank you.
Ah,
Just saying thank you.
yes.
When we pull off a great event and we had all hands on deck, or a project or a client, publicly saying thank you
Yes.
makes a makes a whole big huge difference.
I'm going to be quick about this. I just learned, I relearned because I learned it in probably psychology class about basic human needs. One
Hmm.
of those needs is power, but it translates to recognition, being
Yes.
seen.
Yes.
When you say thank you, Deb, I want to thank you. And I want to say a little more to you because
Hmm.
what I saw you do was really awesome and really representative of what we stand for here at Light of Gold PR. I
Right.
heard you on the phone with that client and it was sounded like it was a little bit of a difficult call.
Hmm.
The way that you guided that call and you really showed your professionalism, I want to let you know that thank you so much. And that's what we look for here.
Yeah,
What do you
absolutely.
think when you talk to somebody like that? They like, not to make a pun, but they light up.
Yeah, they do. They do. It's true. They light up
Yeah.
and they work harder. Not that that's my
Yes.
goal. That's not
Yes.
my goal, but that is the byproduct
Yep.
of saying thank you and showing appreciation
Yes.
throughout the whole entire organization. It doesn't matter whether they're a paid member or a volunteer or an
Nope.
intern. It does not matter.
I agree.
It does not matter. And saying thank you and being the type of organization and the type of leader that
Yes.
says thank you consistently is important in all areas.
It says you see them.
Yes.
And wow, how good does that feel?
Yeah. Feels great. I mean, we know how we feel when
Yeah.
someone says it to us.
Yes, we do.
The same thing. So we have to be able to reciprocate that.
Yes, we do. I kind of
Absolutely.
live for that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Well, Casey, I knew you were going to knock it out the park, girl. This was so much fun. And I
Oh,
hope everybody that's watching
I
enjoyed
can't believe
it.
a half hour's up already.
It's already up. And hey, listen, everybody, Casey is the bomb, y'all. So, Casey, let everybody know how they can get in touch with you, your website. What's the best way to contact you?
Yes, I am excited that I launched my new website. Please go to www.speakandownit.com. It's all spelled out. Speak and
Yeah.
own it.
Yes, absolutely. Please reach out to her. She's a wonderful coach, so definitely. And thank you so much, Casey, for being
Thank
my
you,
guest
Deb.
today.
Thank you for
I
your
know it's going to be
words.
a lot of fun. Anybody else? Listen, you have to be just as good as Casey if you want to be on Marketing Monday. But I just
Oh,
put it out there that if you want to be a guest, just reach out to me and we'll get you on Marketing Monday. We're going to go to every other week in March because we're getting super busy now with all of our projects, but we'll post the schedule, but reach out to us if you want to be a guest on Marketing Monday as well. We love covering topics just like leadership and all the other topics that make a difference in your business. We love bringing on experts to talk about that. So thank you, everybody. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Have a great day. We'll see you soon.
Happy
Bye-bye.
Monday.
Monday. Happy President's Monday, too. Happy
Yes.
Monday to everybody. Take care.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Bye.